Liverpool news and transfer window update, squad concerns, Tsimikas exit, Isak Saga, and final days drama A's. The transfer window ticks towards its final days. Liverpool find themselves right in the middle of the action. In true Reds fashion, the last week of the market hasn't been calm or uneventful. Instead, it's been filled with fresh developments, difficult decisions, injury updates, and a transfer saga that has the entire football world watching. For new manager Arne Slot, who only stepped into the Anfield hot seat this summer, it has been a baptism of fire. He's barely had time to settle in before being thrown into the unforgiving rhythm of the Premier League season, while simultaneously trying to finalize Liverpool's transfer business. And while the squad already looks stronger after several summer signings, questions remain, particularly in defense and attack. The truth is, Liverpool's squad is in transition. After years of Jurgen Klopp's reign, Slot is reshaping both the playing style and the personnel. That means tough calls, both on and off the pitch. Fans can sense that something big is building at Anfield, but they also know the next few days could define the rest of the campaign. Let's take a closer look at everything happening, from Alexis Mac Allister's availability doubts, to the right-back headache, to young Giovanni Leoni's big moment, to Kostas Tsimikas' possible departure, to Slot's comments on substitutions, and of course, the blockbuster Alexander Isak saga. Alexis Mac Allister. Will he play at St. James's Park? One of the biggest stories in the build-up to Liverpool's clash against Newcastle United has been the question mark over Alexis Mac Allister. The Argentine midfielder has quickly become a key figure since his move from Brighton, but he was noticeably absent when Liverpool's 21-man squad arrived at their hotel on Tyneside ahead of Monday's match. Immediately, fans started asking questions. Was it an injury? Was he being rested? Or was there something else behind the absence? According to multiple sources, the likeliest reason is personal. Mac Allister's partner is currently pregnant with their first child, and it's possible that the midfielder stayed behind to be with her at such an important moment. If that's the case, Liverpool supporters will understand. Football is important, but family always comes first. In fact, there's a recent precedent. Ryan Gravenberch missed the Community Shield earlier this month to welcome his own daughter with partner Cindy, and Slot was quick to support him. If Mac Allister is indeed absent for the same reason, expect the Liverpool manager to address it openly. On the pitch, however, his absence could pose a tactical challenge. Slot may be forced to push Curtis Jones into the starting lineup alongside Gravenberch, with Dominik Szoboszlai potentially asked to adopt a deeper role. That would leave Liverpool short of midfield options on the bench, with only Harvey Elliott and Wataru Endo available as reinforcements. It's not ideal preparation for such a big game. Mac Allister's energy, creativity, and calmness in possession are exactly the kind of qualities Liverpool rely on in tough away fixtures. Without him, Slot will need others to step up. The right-back problem: if midfield is complicated, right-back is even more of a puzzle. Jeremy Frimpong, who looked set to become a central part of Liverpool's system, has been ruled out for several weeks with a hamstring injury. Joe Gomez is not fully fit, and neither is Connor Bradley, who only recently returned to the squad after a spell on the sidelines. That leaves Arne Slot with a dilemma. Does he risk Bradley from the start? Does he push Gomez into the role, even if he's not at 100%? Or does he take a more creative approach? Some reports suggest that Slot has even considered using Dominik Szoboszlai at right back in an emergency. The Hungarian has the stamina, pace, and tactical understanding to cover the flank, but it would be a huge shift for a player who was signed to dominate the midfield. Endo is another possible candidate, though again, it would be far from a natural fit. The situation underlines why Liverpool have been linked with defensive reinforcements throughout the window. Depth in these positions is vital for a team chasing trophies. Injuries can happen at any time, and without reliable cover, even the strongest squads can be exposed. For now, Slot will need to improvise. Whatever decision he makes will be closely watched, especially against a Newcastle side that loves to attack down the wings at St. James's Park. Giovanni Leoni, the new face amid all the injury concerns. There's at least one exciting development for Liverpool fans. New signing Giovanni Leoni has been included in the squad for the first time since joining the club. The 18-year-old defender wasn't registered in time for the Bournemouth game, but paperwork has now been completed, and he could make his debut appearance from the bench. It would be a big step for the teenager, who was signed with the future in mind, but could find himself thrown into the action sooner than expected. While fans shouldn't expect Leoni to start against Newcastle, just being part of the squad in such a high-pressure environment will be a valuable learning experience. Slot clearly sees him as a player worth nurturing, and including him at this stage suggests the club has real faith in his ability to adapt quickly. For Liverpool supporters, it's another sign that the club is building for the future while also trying to stay competitive in the present. Leoni may not yet be a household name, but he could become one in the years to come. Kostas Tsimikas, heading for the exit. Perhaps the most significant transfer development involves Kostas Tsimikas. The Greek international has been a loyal servant since arriving from Olympiacos, often stepping in when Andy Robertson was unavailable. But with the arrival of Milos Kerkez this summer, his role has been further reduced, and now a move away looks increasingly likely. Reports from Italy suggest that Roma are interested in taking Tsimikas on loan, with an option to buy. This structure would suit Liverpool, who would prefer to keep the door open for a permanent deal rather than sending him out with no long-term plan. At 29, Tsimikas is at a stage in his career where he needs regular football. He has said as much himself, admitting in June that he would only leave Liverpool if it meant becoming a first-choice starter elsewhere. Roma could offer that opportunity, and with European football already secured for the season, they tick several of his boxes. The big question is whether Roma see him as a genuine starter or just a backup option. Angelino is still their preferred left-back, and Tsimikas doesn't want to trade one bench role for another. Negotiations are ongoing, and journalist Gianluca Di Marzio has described the deal as not easy. But with the window closing soon, clarity will come quickly. If Tsimikas does go, it will mark the end of a solid, if understated, Liverpool career. He may not have been a regular, but he's had his moments, including providing the assist for the winning penalty in the 2022 FA Cup final shootout. Fans will wish him well if he moves on. Slot on substitutions and goals. Conceded. Another issue that has generated discussion is Liverpool's tendency to concede goals shortly after making substitutions. It happened against Bournemouth when Antoine Semenyo struck soon after Slot's changes, and it happened in the Community Shield when Crystal Palace equalized not long after Hugo Ekitike and Curtis Jones were withdrawn. Some supporters have started to wonder if the substitutions are disrupting the team's flow. Slot, however, isn't convinced. "I see it as coincidence," he said. "Most of the changes I've made are about fitness. We have players who missed parts of preseason, players making the step to the Premier League, and you want to keep them fit for the season, not just for one match." He pointed to Ekitike in particular, who needs time to adjust from the Bundesliga to the Premier League. Slot also highlighted that Liverpool have scored after substitutions too, with Federico and Salah both netting after coming off the bench. It's a sensible perspective, but it does highlight the challenges of managing such a busy schedule. Fans will always want the strongest XI on the pitch for the full 90 minutes, but managers have to think long-term. The Alexander Isak Saga no Liverpool update right now would be complete without mentioning Alexander Isak. The Swedish striker has been one of the biggest transfer stories of the summer. Liverpool made a huge $110 million bid for him, a figure that would have smashed the club's transfer record, but Newcastle rejected it. Isak, for his part, has made it clear that he would be open to the move. Reports suggest he is frustrated with Newcastle's stance, and he has even been training alone in recent days. For a player of his quality, it's a dramatic turn of events. Last season, Isak was a thorn in Liverpool's side, scoring in both the Carabao Cup final and a 3-3 Premier League draw. His pace, movement, and finishing ability make him one of the most dangerous strikers in the league. Slot would love to have him leading the line at Anfield, but Newcastle are under no obligation to sell. They know how valuable Isak is, and unless Liverpool increase their bid even further, it may be that he stays put, at least for now. Even so, the saga has added plenty of spice to Monday's fixture. Isak won't be playing, but his presence will still be felt in the atmosphere around the game. Fans will be watching closely to see if there are any further developments before the window closes. Final thoughts. Liverpool's season is already filled with storylines, and we're only a few weeks in. The final days of the transfer window promise more twists and turns with Tsimikas' future, Isak Saga,